Much to Blood Thunder. We'll see him in a little bit here after our next run of Dishonored, where we have quite a few donation incentives for the DLC and for a special little surprise. One of the DLC has been met, but the other has not, so please get your donations in now. We have quite a few comments to read to catch up. A lot of love here for Blood Thunder. Especially, there's one funny comment here from Suzushiro. That was an amazing Windows 10 speedrun. I've heard that a lot of people have been trying the all skips category, but Microsoft has been patching it to make things harder for them. All right, next we're going to go to commercial.
I already sat for an hour earlier during the clock hours. I have bad knees and not do well. It's not just caveman, it's evil zone. Oh yeah, it's not yes, hey. Yeah. I've been trying to find someone to run that with.
All right, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2016, a fun and fast event for charity. We are raising money for Doctors Without Borders. They are an organization who support people who cannot otherwise access healthcare by employing specialized medical and logistical help or running longer-term projects designed to tackle health crises. You can see our donation amount now in the bottom right corner, but feel free to donate even more to help their cause and to further our awesome donation incentives. Once again, we have the Dishonored run next with some great incentives. We have both DLC up for grabs here, as well as a super fun little surprise that we'd love to see happen here. And jumping back a bit to BioShock, we have a bunch of great donation comments from that run. We'll catch up a bit here. We have $200 from Programmer Cat. Thanks, SGDQ, for all the hard work. Watching all these speedruns is fun, but I have to warn you, as a developer on the BioShock collection, I may have to fix some of those glitches. Wink. We have a $50 donation from Thorinar, long-time Games Done Quick watcher and first-time donor, watching BioShock, taking me back to some of my best gaming experiences. Thank you all for all that you do. And a $100 donation from Space LR12. He did it first try, so now I feel obligated. Keep up the good runs. I thought that was only supposed to be for $50. Wow, thank you very much for that. We have a $20.07 donation from Big Sis 25. BioShock is one of my favorite games. Love to watch you destroy it. We have a $10 donation, anonymous donation, that says, "Save the little sisters." Well, we're a bit late, but it turns out we did just that. We have a $50 donation from Invader Gear. First time donating to a GDQ. Shout out to Blood Thunder for slaying one of my favorite games. Hopefully we can show them Doom at a GDQ. Good luck as always. Donation goes to Blood's Choice. We have a $25 donation from Lord Zadok. Come on, everyone. Let's get both of those Dishonored DLC incentives met. Just checking in again. Still, only one of them has been met. We need $4,000 more of your wonderful donation dollars to meet the second DLC incentive. It's a tall order, but I think all you can do it. We have a $30 donation from IzzyBellG62. Love SGDQ, games for a good cause. Gotta vote for the Dishonored DLC. Huge fan and actually just beat all the DLC yesterday. Well, now you get to see potentially all the DLC being broken today. All right, and I think we're all ready. Let's give it up for a fun Dishonored run.
Got an elevator, I donate 50.
Easy.
First try.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm DrTChops. We also got a Frippic and Fearful Ferret on mic. Shedix is also there, but don't worry about him. This is Dishonored. It'll be any % for the main game, and then maybe 1 or 2 DLCs afterwards. Normally when you start from a new game, there's like this boring 2-minute long cutscene that literally nothing happens. So we're just going to start from a save immediately when you gain control. So, we ready for countdown? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So there's some very tight movement to get out of this boat, and then I'm going to take an elevator up to the top here. Nope, that's a lamp, not an elevator. This is an elevator. And I'm going to jump over a trigger for a cutscene.
Nice hard fall.
Thanks, man. There's Emily. We skipped her cutscene. One of you can explain how the elevators actually work?
Sure. So when the game is running particularly very high frame rates, as you sort of jump backwards against a 90-degree angle, the game sort of interprets that as being a climbable ledge, and it just interprets it as being a very long series of climbable ledges. So basically, whenever you're next to a pillar or other 90-degree angle, you can just jump up it up until it hits the ceiling or wherever that happens to be. So in that case, he used it to get enough height to go over a trigger that would normally have you talk to Emily and do the whole hide-and-seek thing, but we just skip past that. And there's another one that's going to be coming up in this area pretty shortly, where he's going to skip the assassin fight coming up,
As usual.
which I believe is actually named after Frippic.
It is not.
Oh,
It is named after Yeti.
Okay.
Mother's going to
we didn't get it to the intro cold. That's unfortunate. So after you give the note to the Empress here, we're kind of like trapped in this whole area. There's a big invisible wall that goes all the way around, except for this part that's just death. But yeah, you can just do an elevator right here. And now we're just standing on literally nothing.
Yeah, there are a lot of collision boxes in this area that don't make much sense because you're never supposed to get up here, but there's a pretty large area you can just walk around up here and nobody cares.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You can actually see all the locations of the game. So like the Hounds Pit pub is just across the water. There's Kingsparrow where we end it. This is just half of a castle. There's a bridge over there. There's some other oh, look, there's some assassins here. So normally you're supposed to fight them. But it turns out if you just kind of kill yourself right at the start, you actually don't die, and it despawns them. Because it's basically a tutorial fight, and the game doesn't want you to actually fail the tutorial, because that would be really embarrassing. So if you lose all your health, the game just despawns the assassins and kind of moves on. And if you jump slightly too early before the assassins actually spawn, you will die, because the fight hasn't started. And if you jump too late, you'll get an extra cutscene with the Empress. So it's actually pretty precise timing for that.
Corvo. It's all coming.
And I hope you guys like cutscenes, because this game really loves cutscenes.
Protect her.
This is going to be, around 36 minutes, probably, RTA. And there's going to be maybe 12 minutes of actual gameplay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work to optimize the game, so the proportion of cutscenes to game has just gone up quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a skip here. I'm going to be holding F. And what that does is there's going to be a lot of cutscenes where you get a little F prompt in the bottom left that you can hold F to skip over part of it. And if you actually hold it from one cutscene into another one, it'll just instantly skip that F prompt. Also, we've now been Dishonored, in case you didn't know that's what the game was called. Hopefully we'll undishonor ourselves in a little bit. So since I'm holding F here, even though it's through a load screen, there's going to be an F prompt that appears in the bottom left, and it's just going to go away instantly. This is the RE storage skip originally.
And then coming up here is just going to skip past the entire prison area, and this is the single largest skip in the game, I believe. It skips about 45 to 50 seconds of just running through the prison, killing some guards, and running past people. And using elevator, you can just climb all the way up to the roof and skip the entire thing.
Yeah, fortunately for us, they installed a whole bunch of elevators in this prison and forgot to put in an actual ceiling. So we can just kind of go like this and run to the end.
That was really nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Super smooth.
It's difficult to do.
And, you know, since it's a video game, water just doesn't have fall damage.
Also,
because
he crouches into the water because he doesn't sink as far when he's crouching for some reason.
yeah, you need a cannonball and you don't go as far, obviously.
Elevator is mostly useful near the beginning of the game because later on, once you get Blink, Blink is just an awesome way to get everywhere, so elevators become much less useful.
Yeah.
Once you get Blink, the only place to use an elevator is Tower, I believe.
And even then, it doesn't really save time, it just saves some mana.
Yeah.
I
So
have headaches.
right here, I'm jumping when I'm crouched under a small thing. That's actually the only place it's done the entire run, so I hope you enjoyed it. And this sewer area is just a lot of small optimized movement. So I'm going to go for a bottle here. If I miss it, Friedrich is going to be very sad. Oh, God.
no.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So now you actually have to touch the dead body, which is just infinitely worse.
At least you slid.
Yeah. I can do some things fast.
If you pick up the bottle, you can just throw it at the corpse and it falls off the wheel without you having to touch it, but he had to get his fingers dirty.
Well, my foot. And here, if you stand on these rocks, the rats just won't bite you, which is pretty convenient. And right here, there's a long chain you're supposed to climb up. Chains are slow. I don't want to use a chain. I'm just going to take the elevator. I don't know why they bothered with a chain when they have an elevator right there. And here we have our incredibly well-hidden supplies. It actually takes a second before you can pick them up, so I just use that time to stand on it and position myself towards this door.
There's a short period at the end of this cutscene where you can move and the screen is still black, so it helps to like orient yourself as you go into the cutscene.
No Torco, I'm sorry.
Dang.
So we got past that guy.
Pretty
really
much
hard.
every trick in this game is named after somebody who found it, so there's a lot of people who contributed to this run.
He missed. What a guy.
Nice.
And one last little boost that I can get here, which I probably won't because it's done. I got it.
Wow.
Sick. Easy game.
Segmented strats.
And here's Sam. He's a great friend.
I'm Samuel.
We're going to be learning a lot about Sam. We're going to really get to know Sam as a person and a character. I hope you really learn to appreciate him by the end.
I'll take you to meet them. Just down the river.
So a trick I did there during the sewer, and I'm going to be doing for pretty much the entire run, is called swordless. Basically, whenever you have your sword out, you run 10%, I think, slower. And obviously that's not good. But as you're putting away your sword, it has the little flippy animation. And if you like press right click or equip a secondary thing while that's happening, it'll keep out your left hand and put away the sword. So you run at full speed and you're able to like use your crossbow or blink or all those things.
You can't switch your secondary weapon though,
Right.
Because you'll do it, but then you'll pull the sword out, and
Yeah, we
it's
do a
really
flip,
awkward.
flip out again.
Of course, if anyone finds
Corvo
out
really
about
likes flipping his sword.
It's also very difficult to do that trick with any other sword because Corvo's sword has a very long holstering animation, and it's the fact that one hand has a shorter holstering animation than the other that makes it possible.
It is possible with the other swords, but I've only seen Ferret do it,
That was a long time
and
ago.
like myself once.
Yeah.
So it's probably impossible. They probably just lied.
Probably.
Gaming gods only.
For sure. So welcome to the Hounds Pit. We're going to be here a lot.
Yeah, this is the central hub area that you return to between pretty much all of your missions. So this is just sequences where you're talking to people and they're giving you your next mission and moving on.
He's picking up some coins here so that he can buy a grenade, which is just for convenience mostly.
As well as a bunch of mana potions.
Yeah.
You can just grab that thing from the stairs instead of going all the way around. It's a little bit more convenient. And right now I'm going to do a very strange skip. I basically have this mouse here that I can just scroll forever. It's basically cheating, but don't worry about it.
I believe the phrase is literally cheating.
Yes, and I also have mouse wheel up, bound to jump. And it turns out if you jump immediately before this load screen, the game gets really confused about your position, and it just kind of warps you into a default position, which happens to be up here in this cutscene that we need to trigger. And since you did that, you don't have to open a door, which means you can sword skip. And now we have Blink. Blink is great.
Yeah, this is the ability that really makes a speedrun just incredibly fun. There's a lot of interesting mana routing and timing because there's a short time between each blink where you can't blink again, so you have to plan things out really well. And the mana route, like the blink route, has gone through a lot of iterations, so it's become one of the most optimized parts of any game that I run, really.
Yeah, so in the top right, or top left, sorry, the blue bar is mana. Every time you blink, you lose some mana, but you can regen if you wait. So we need to optimize out blink usage and which potions to pick up and when to use them, when to get regens, and all of that fun stuff. That's all planned out beforehand.
Basically, your resource management becomes part of your movement, which is really interesting.
Yeah. And right now I'm going to cheat some more. This time with some DLC, which spawns a whole bunch of gold and bone charms in this room. I'm going to grab one in particular and a whole bunch of gold. And I'm going to go shopping.
What can I do?
Because why not? Alright. I think I bought something else that I wasn't supposed to, which is unfortunate, so I'll have to grab the nade.
Yeah.
I think you missed something, actually.
Missed the grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I basically bought a rune and a whole bunch of potions. And the potions just will let me blink a lot more, and I won't have to pick up potions during the level. The rune I used to upgrade agility, which lets me double jump, which allows for some more movement opportunities and optimizations. And the bone charm I picked up is called Void Channel. It increases the effect of all of your powers, and basically what that means is your blinks go a little bit further, which doesn't really seem like much when you watch it, but it actually lets us do a lot more optimized blinks and interesting routes.
All right, we should have time for a donation here.
Man walks through one of those and he ends up.
All right, we have plenty to read here. We have a donation from Fincy. Says, "Hey Chops, Fincy here. I just wanted to let you know that me and my whole family are praying for good boil RNG, so good luck with that. P.S. Nice hard fall."
Thanks, man. Really helps me out.
I don't know which is worse. Just take your pick.
We have some donations for the DLC, but remember, we still have quite a bit to go. A $50 anonymous donation saying, "Let's see some more DLC, guys."
Whoa, fence boost. Hello.
Yeah, fences can boost you really, really far in some very specific circumstances, so it's a theorized thing, at least for segmented runs, but it's really difficult to pull off.
It was definitely intentional. It definitely saved time. Don't worry about it.
So in this area, he's going to use something called slip clipping, which allows you to clip through certain walls in the game. Basically, he's going to run at a door sideways while also leaning into it, and while he's doing so, his camera will clip through the door a little bit. You'll see it right up here.
Easy.
Yeah. That door is locked, so
There we go.
he's
All
not
right.
just lazy and doesn't want to open it. It's
Yeah.
Hello? There we go. First try.
He's going to do another one right here so that he can get to this door without using stairs because he's not lazy at all.
Yeah, this trick makes it really easy to get out of bounds in a lot of different areas. It works because as you sort of lean into walls, the camera takes a little bit to figure out, wait a second, you're on the wrong side of the wall, let's put you back here. Nice hard fall.
That was not a hard fall, because there was no animation. You just kind of die.
But there was the dying animation.
It's not an animation.
It's totally an
The
animation.
way I hear
Hi,
it,
Sam.
Campbell lived a pretty
Falling on Samuel's head there negates fall damage, and if you do it while crouching, you don't deal much damage to him, so he doesn't aggro you. And if he does aggro you, then you get a non-standard game over.
If the reason that he shot the crossbow there as well was to get Sam to turn around so that he didn't have to wait for him to turn around while he was talking to him.
Yeah, it makes the fall actually really awkward to do, but it's just a slight optimization.
Admiral Hadlock and Lord Pendleton
So-
in the courtyard.
Here we have one of the longer intermissions where we're going to learn about Weepers. But first I just need to do another storage skip up to this cutscene over here. You can actually like do gameplay while you're doing a storage skip. I'm just holding F while I'm going to blink into these fine gentlemen. And then they tell us to go to sleep. And in this game, whenever they tell you to go to sleep, you should go to sleep because that's fast. Sleeping is always fast. And now we get to learn about Weepers. So, just like we learned with slip clipping, leaning is really broken. You can just go over here and lean and pick up the key through the door. And I'm gonna kill one of the Weepers, and there's a couple runes here that I want to pick up, which will let me upgrade agility again, and then... Hello? My keybinds are different because I forgot the grenade.
Right.
Nice. So we took care of the Weepers. You don't actually need to kill them. You can just sleep dart them, which is like an instant knockout, basically.
I'll take
And
you
we
to
can
the
move on.
Golden Cat when you're ready.
All right, we have time for some
Taken Lord
donations.
Pendleton enough times, believe me.
Well, we have a big $2,000 donation here from Rambo Bones 136. He says, love watching SGDQ every year. Keep up the good work, enjoying the runs. Now let's see some DLC. That was a big help. Thank you so much for that.
You'll have to go the rest
We
of the
have
way.
a $60 donation from the ECRAD. Looks like Dunwall could have used Doctors Without Borders. Good luck with the run.
Gets back all safe and sure. Them two Pendletons are there, so I'm guessing there'll be a lot of
Alright,
guards.
so
Slack
this
jaw
is the
with
Golden Cat,
ideas on how to
also
get
known as the
inside
Golden
the
Run
trap.
Killer.
If he don't kill you.
There's a lot of very tight blinks and a lot of guards that love to get in your way. And if you blink into a guard, it'll kill your blink and you have to walk, and it's really awkward and annoying.
They sell the
And there's also two different lucks that can happen. I'm going to hope for bad luck because it's only a little bit slower, but looks a lot cooler.
You bring him back.
So here's hoping for
Good
that.
luck to you.
I think it's like 2 seconds.
I know
slower.
him.
Yeah, something like
It
that.
doesn't really matter.
Pick up this potion and get the grenades because I didn't buy one. For some of the load screens, I'm actually going to pause on because there's a lot of lag when you go through a load screen in some places. It's really annoying. Alright, so here we go. We saved Emily. There she goes. She's saved. Go me. Grab a key that we need to leave, and the last rune that we need, which we use to upgrade Blink. So unfortunately I got good luck, which is less interesting, but it's still alright.
There are two different sets of locations that the
Hello?
Pendleton twins can be in. And in this one, they're both just on rooms adjacent to this main hub, so it's pretty fast to get to both of them.
If you jump at the right time when you kill people like that, you can skip the animation. So that's what he tried to do the first time, but
Yeah, there's a really long animation that plays if you're both on the ground, and if you do it incorrectly, the jumping one, then there can also be just a slowdown as you swing your sword, but in that last case, you got it quick with no slowdown.
Yeah, the first one actually noticed me before I could attack him, so I was just not able to do the quick one. And then, so I just rescued Emily, and I had to like push her to make sure she would actually go, and then it turns out she's actually already here at the boat. So she's clearly a better speedrunner than I am. So I really hope in Dishonored 2 she's actually the faster character, because it would make a lot of sense.
All right, time for some donations.
Yeah, this is the like second longest cutscene in the game.
Perfect. We have a $250 donation from Zetabyte. Second time donating this year, using the rest of my budget to try and help goes along, in this case Dishonored, one of my favorite games. I'd like to see the Empress saved so poor Emily doesn't lose her mother, but this is going to finish the Brigmore Witches DLC since it's so close to being finished. Do you think you'll get your own squad after tonight, DrTChops?
Blow off, Chopper.
We have a $50 donation from Michael M. Preventing the game from happening sounds impressive. $30 for saving a life in Dishonored and $10 to each of the DLCs. Keep up the Admiral work all. A $50 donation from Eva Grimm. I always love watching speedruns of Dishonored. Thank you for devastating one of my favorite games and helping a good cause.
Schooling you while you're with us.
Pleased to meet you.
As am I. Would you like to see your room in the tower?
Can I see it?
Yes, you may. You'll get to see it all. The entirety
This
of
cutscene has some very award-winning dialogue.
I think I'll like it here. I'll go with Callista, Corvo. I'll see you later.
A $10 donation from Coma. Have to save the Empress.
You do not fail to impress. Armed with a blade, you've changed the course of the city forever. And with the Pendleton twins gone,
A $50 donation from Mortal Clembot. I love Dishonored and I love the cause. Thanks for doing what you do. Save the Empress.
You've done more than most men do in a lifetime. I need to speak to you soon.
All right,
But for
finally,
now,
finally get control
request your
back.
attention.
So, of course, the first thing we're gonna do is run over and have more dialogue.
After this intermission, he gets all of his magic back, so he wants to use as much as he can.
All right,
Yeah, there's a number of places, normally either before or after or both for every mission. You'll get a restore on all your health and magic, so
Sleep later.
part of the routing is making sure you actually empty out your magic
When you're ready.
before that happens. So you basically get like a free, what is it, potion and a half, I guess. And next up is Bridge. This is basically like a straight line broken into 4 parts. And in the first part, well, first of all, Sam is going to tell us that we need to disable these spotlights, because even though it's like midday, they can only see if there's spotlights on, obviously.
See all them lights.
And you'll only actually get that objective like a minute after the last load screen we just had. And it takes less than that to get to the first door. So I'm basically going to blink through here and then stand on the door and wait for the objective to update. Because if I leave before it updates, I'll never get the objective, and since I never get it, I can't complete it, and the game will soft lock. You can fix it by coming back here, but that's slow.
What do I know?
So here's a thing in the way. You can just go through it.
Are you tapping your weapons out?
I'm blocking.
Tap blocking?
Yeah.
So,
So I have to wait here.
when you tap, you pull out your weapons immediately, which is a very small optimization that's pretty recent.
That was some solid lag. Hello, Blank? So here's the objective that we had to wait for. Here's a swag double blink, just cuz. This is the shortest map in the game. It's just 2 blinks. That's it. You did it. Thank you. And now we need to get Sokolov.
Don't pull out grenades.
I've forgotten the buttons. It's alright, don't worry. Buttons are hard, okay? When you build up muscle memory to always have a grenade, it just becomes really awkward when you don't actually have the grenade.
At least you didn't hit him with the grenade and then like.
Oh god. Luckily that did not happen.
There are a lot of parts in this game where he's trying to fall a certain distance so that when he lands there's no animation. So if you fall a bit shorter than that distance, you have an animation where you take no damage. If you fall a bit longer, there's an animation where you do take damage. And somewhere in the middle, there's no animation, but you take damage. So falling in that sweet spot is something that you try to set up by sometimes blinking a little bit higher or lower than you normally would.
I think it has tiers. I think it's like soft landing, damage, or like hard fall with no damage, then damage cancel, then damage hard fall.
Right.
Yeah, the general rule is like if you're getting an animation where you basically stop yourself from falling and smashing your face, just blink higher, because obviously that makes sense. So another little storage skip here, and once again they're going to ask us to go to bed. Bed good. Yes, bed, please. So this intermission is really silly because there's 2 storage skips that I can do, but the second one has a door in front of it, and normally if you like open the door by hitting your use key, it won't let you do a storage skip through it. But if you clip through the door, then you don't hit your use key and you're able to actually do the skip. So it looks really silly and it barely saves time, but it's so worth.
Royal, you're part of this.
So here's the first one. And then no, I goofed it. I'm so sorry, Mumrick. Oh, okay. Door of shame.
You'll know it.
Hello? Can't move.
Royal costume ball.
I can
huh?
feel the face palms from here.
That'll be fun for everybody. You ready?
You know, the sun's in my eyes. It's really windy in here. It's my hands are cold.
All right, so this next mission has the largest bit of randomness in the game, where there's a large number of combinations of lucks that we're not going to go into because they all have very different things going on.
But they're so interesting.
They are. So there's a letter that you can read. So there are 3 different boils, and only one of them is your actual target. One of the ways of completing the mission is just killing all 3, because you definitely got the right one somewhere in there by process of elimination, which is the name of that particular objective. But there are also some ways of figuring out which boil is which and which one you actually have to kill. And the fastest way of doing that is to read a letter that spawns randomly in one of the 3 bedrooms upstairs. And then the actual boil that you're supposed to kill is also randomly generated. So depending on what luck he gets, I'll explain why that particular strategy works.
It's supposed to be 1 in 3 chance. We'll see.
All right, he starts by killing that boil, and then he read one of the letters that's there. Yeah.
Good luck. That saves 20 seconds.
All right, so the way the game works in that area is first we just kill one of the boils, hoping that she's the correct one before we figure out who actually is the correct one. And then there are some letters that spawn out of bounds, and the way the game works is there are 9 letters out of bounds, and it sort of teleports one of them in bounds, the one that you're supposed to read. But since we can clip out of bounds, we can read some of the out of bounds letters, which really confuses the game. So if you kill one boil and then read an out of bounds letter, there's a 1 in 3 chance that the objective will just say, okay, good job, you killed the right one. So that's the luck we got.
Yeah, if I didn't get the good luck, then the game's just like irredeemably broken at that point, and you just have to kill all 3 because it just doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Family gives a man a thirst.
And when we say 1 in 3 luck, we actually mean like 3 in 500 if you're one of the runners, Jen Mummer, because he gets great luck. I'm stuck in the boat. All right.
You did it.
So one of the things I did in the last mission is I walked up to a guy in a fox mask or wolf mask or something, and I gave him a note. The note's from this guy. You're supposed to give him the note and duel him. If you do that, this guy like praises you for a bunch. If you ignore the dude completely, this guy yells at you a whole bunch. But if you give him the note and then just leave him, he just kind of completely forgets about the whole thing and just doesn't talk about it, which is pretty convenient.
Corvo,
the boil maps remain off limits.
And we'll have some time for some donations before the next mission.
Perfect, because we have 2 really big ones. We have a $1,000 donation from Zerenner.
Nice.
Who says, I discovered GDQ 1 year ago, and since then I got my first job, so I can now contribute to the cause myself. Dishonored is a great game, so let's see more of it. $500 to the DLC, and $500 to Saving the Empress. I love what you're doing, keep it up.
Great.
And a $1,200 donation from Cyclops Boy. And the comment with this one is, love Dishonored and happy to help finish off those goals. So with those 2 donations, all 3 donation incentives for Dishonored have been met.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everybody who donated. I really appreciate it. All right. So we're back at the tower. There was the prison that we were in. He tells us that killing the Lord Regent is the most important thing. We're actually not going to do that. We're not going to kill anybody else for the rest of the run because killing is slow from here on out. And also, if you did miss the elevators, here's the last one. Oh, no, it isn't. All right, here's the last one. And another double blank for prosperity. So you can explain how the non-lethal ending works here.
Sure. So the way the non-lethal ending works is you pick up this confession sort of inside that safe by clipping into it using the lean glitch, and then you put it in this announcement thing so it broadcasts his confession to the city, and that takes him out of power, which is the non-lethal route for this mission. And doing that's a lot faster than actually going up to him because he's quite a ways away.
Yeah. And now we've taken care of him, so we can just kind of leave.
You can actually get to his safe house without ever going inside, but he's not there unless you go inside.
Is it all done?
Yeah, it's kind of
Pointless.
annoying.
You ready to go back to the Hound Pits?
Yes, I am.
Thanks to you, Corvo. All right, let's go.
All right, so we did it. We took care of all the conspirators who took the Empress's life. They've all been eliminated. All the good guys won. We've been undishonored or re-honored.
Honored, I guess.
No, we were already honored. Now we're
Re-honored.
Now we're re-honored. All right, we did it.
Maybe it's
So that's
going
it,
to be
right?
different now.
Yep, no sequel, sorry.
More
Get ready on
agents
time.
gone. Yeah, he has a new high overseer.
We just get to have a nice drink with all our
It's almost done.
old chums.
The others are in the bar. No doubt waiting to raise a glass in your name.
I am going to do another couple storage
Me, I
skips
think I'll
here.
just linger out here.
These are the most annoying because there's the most movement that you have to do during them.
Congratulations, Corvo.
All right. I let go of F because I was so shocked that this is happening.
Yeah, that was really good movement too.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry to break it to you, but we've been re-dishonored again, or something. So it turns out that the people who told you to murder all those people actually aren't very good guys, which is weird. Yeah, so now we've been shipped off to the flooded district. And this is actually the longest cutscene in the game. I will be holding F for the entire thing, but other than that, there's not really much going on. What? What? Oh. I mean, okay. How about some donations?
Most certainly. Jumping back a bit to your big fall, we have more comments on that. We have a 110 anonymous donation. This is my first live SGDQ and it's awesome. Keep up the good work. By the way, I give your fall an 8 out of 10, but your landing only gets a 2.
I tried.
We have an anonymous $20 donation, longtime watcher, first-time donor. Great event, great organization, great game, and great run. Cheers, love. We have a $50 anonymous donation. Hey guys, can't wait to watch the game that got me into speedrunning. Prisonless hype. A $10 anonymous donation. I don't have much, but I just had to donate in order to see one of my favorite games run in its entirety. Good luck to all the runners, and thanks to everyone for organizing such a great event.
I know a great deal, bodyguard.
We're just going to ignore Dowd. I don't want to look at
I
him.
recognize those marks on your hand. A gift from your friend. The one who talks to you in the dark.
We have a $10 anonymous donation. Great streamers, even greater of a
I
cause.
visited those shrines too. And I know what it felt like to shove a blade into your empress. But I don't know you. Who you are.
We have a $50 donation from Very. I've watched you guys for a long time, just missed your first year. It's the highlight of my week every time it's on. Thanks for all that y'all do.
So this guy's going to punch me with his mind. It's crazy. And I held F for the entire time just so I could skip this one little prompt, and that's it. You didn't miss anything, don't worry.
That saves like 0.7 seconds. And
Something
you have
like
to hold
that.
F for like 3.5 minutes.
It's very worth. All right, so we're stuck in this little, I guess it's like a whiskey vat or something like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of rocks. There's these like flimsy little wooden boards that they put that'll obviously keep you in. So, I mean, clearly, oh my God, why did I blink? So clearly you're just gonna like clip out because how else are you gonna get out of there? There's no other way. Oh man, these blinks are pristine.
All of your equipment is taken away from you at the start of this mission, and you do have a side objective to like retrieve it so you get your mana potions and sword back and all that, but we're not going to do that. So you basically just start with only your abilities like blink and no mana potions or sword or grenade or anything.
Yeah.
There's never a time in this run where we're going to need a weapon, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I also just completely ignored Dowd by going out of bounds. Okay, that's cool. It just
I
ate my
think you
speed.
actually spared him by going.
Oh yeah, it was an intentional sparing. Don't worry. I am down a lot of mana from all those blinks. I don't know where I'm gonna get it back, but don't worry, we'll figure it out. So yeah, there's another skip coming up. Right at the start of this area, I'm just going to immediately clip out of bounds through this door.
And then there's a water current here, and if you quick save and quick load inside a water current, you sort of just teleport to the end of the water current.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, but just don't worry about it. Fortunately, since I messed up like 3 blinks, I just kind of need to run here, but it's not long. And then there, that's the flooded district, and we're back to Hounds Pit.
Shoutouts to the French community for finding Lay Clip.
So this is the shortest mission in the game. No, Bottle. Bottle came back for revenge after I missed it in sewers. Please read the note. Read the note. There you go. Reading things is hard. Blink cooldown is hard.
Dang.
No hard fall. There's like only one more opportunity for that. Alright, so there's a cool little skip. If you go over here and trigger Sam's dialogue, he's going to move too far away and it'll stop the rest of his dialogue. And then you go back in and it just skips ahead to the next part of the dialogue. So that skips like, I don't know, 20 seconds of him talking, which is pretty nice. So that whole level is like 50-something seconds.
And one interesting part about the speedrun overall is that since we're going through it so quickly, there are very few opportunities to like get detected or kill anybody, and those are the actions that create high chaos. So for those of you who are familiar with the game, the more like chaotic actions you do, like killing people and getting seen, the more chaos you accrue. But because this run is just so dang fast, you never have time to accrue it, so it's a low chaos run by a pretty significant margin.
Yeah, we only kill like 6 or so people. It's nothing.
It's actually really kind of hard to get high chaos, and still, you basically have to go really out of your way to get high chaos for a speedrunner.
Yeah, we did some bingo races of this game like 2 years ago, and the high chaos square was probably the most difficult square in the entire bingo.
Alright, so we made this entire journey with Sam at our side. Wishes us good luck, but you know, the luck was over long ago. That doesn't help me. Please, just let me do my thing. I got this.
Samuel is considered like a mission important character up until this point, but now you can kill him and nothing happens.
Use our last double blink, and we're out. Oh, basically
wow.
A hole on.
That was great.
All right, so this is the end of the game. Basically, it'll end when I interact with the door, Emily's door up here. But first, there's one more strat that I can do. If I mess it up, it auto-saves with me falling to my death, and I have to go back to the previous one before this elevator. But it's tradition, so I have to go for it. But luckily, it's easy, and I can just do that. First try. Oh.
I remember when we used to have to do hard strats.
And time. No extra hard falls? I think that was good.
That was pretty good.
And this is your ending.
You did die at Sam, though.
No, that never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. So, there's one little important thing that we have to see at the ending, and then we can move on with the incentives.
And protecting her from those who seek to exploit her or cause her
What was the time for that?
35 RTA.
Wow, that's really good.
That is amazing.
You watched and listened when other men would have shouted in rage. You
So,
held back and
as I
stood
said,
strike.
this is the good ending.
So it is with the passing of the
where
plague and Emily's ascension.
Emily turns out to be a great leader. You got rid of all the evil people. The plague gets solved somehow. I don't know. I guess the Lord Regent had a cure or something. Everybody lives on long and happy. Absolutely everybody. Except for Sam. Sam has made his last voyage, unfortunately. Oh well. Rip Sam. Press F to pay respects. Alright, so I did have 3 incentives that apparently all get met, which is completely awesome, actually. So, for the first one, you know, the game starts out in the intro where during a cutscene, the Empress is killed. There's nothing you can do about it, right? She's killed. There's absolutely no way to stop it. There might be a way. Oh,
wow.
Does that count? Does that count? $50? Got elevator? Oh. So we're gonna start out kind of the same here with the intro, and then we're gonna do something a little bit different.
She'll see you at once.
So unfortunately, we do have to sit through this cutscene one more time. No blind intro, dang.
We've gone beyond that.
Have you ever gotten that?
I've gotten it like 3 times now.
Really?
Save them from the
Yeah.
plague if we can.
Have you gotten that?
Like once, and I have no idea how.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so there's this really stupid thing that happens here called blind intro, where when this cutscene starts, the game actually just stays completely black, and you still have control, which means you can talk to the Empress right now and move on with the thing. So you skip this entire talk with the Lord Regent. It's happened all of like 8 or so times, and people have done this intro probably 1,000,000 times. Just from all of the runners. It's incredibly rare. Oh, there's the Tibian chokehold. We got it eventually. All right, so I've given the note to the Empress, which means we're on a timer for when the assassins are going to spawn. I'm going to go try and stop them. So it starts out pretty similar. I go up here, but instead of falling, I'm going to go around this way. Walk over here. This is perfectly safe. And I need to, like, fall off, but buffer my fall with the wall. It's actually really finicky. And, like right there, you saw it happen, but it was too early.
This is called a wall slide, by the way.
Wall slide, yes. It's also really hard to tell where the actual wall is because it's kind of invisible and on part of this slope. There we go, that's good. I think it is. I might die here. That should be fine. All right. So now we're down here. We can't go on the bridge because Emily's cutscene trigger is still here. But we can just like go up here. Oh, look, there's the assassins. They're making their merry way. But we're not going to worry about them right now. So we're in the middle of the fight. Is this going to kill me? No. Here's one of the assassins. He just kind of doesn't care. This guy is not a very good officer. He's just ignoring everything. But right here, in a second, there's Dowd. All right, we did it. Dowd, killer of the Empress, has been taken care of. We did it. We saved everything. And
Game
now,
over.
that's it. I mean, we saved the Empress. There's nothing left to happen, so that's the game. It just kind of sits here completely black, and there's no reason to go on. It's pretty nice. All right. So I need to switch patches real quick to go and do the DLC runs.
Yeah, the main game run is done on an older patch to make a couple things easier. You can run on current patch pretty much just as easily. But since the DLCs were released after the game was patched, we have to switch patches for this.
Yep. It only takes a second. I just swap the directories over. All right, capture's working fine. Cool. So there's 2 DLCs in this game. Well, there's 3. This one is just like a sequence of short missions. They're like fight challenges, stealth challenges, that kind of stuff. These 2 are actual story missions, so we're going to go and play through those. The first one is Knife of Dunwall. And in both the DLCs, you're playing as the character Dowd. I think it's mostly during the time that Corvo was in prison. You know, the like 10 seconds where I just kind of elevated up and ran away. We're going to be doing this one. So this one, just like the main game, starts with a really long cutscene. And we're just going to start with a save. So do we have a timer ready for this, or are we just going to do it?
Yeah.
Timer would be nice. Are we ready? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So in this first DLC, you already start with Blink and some basic abilities because you're Dowd and he's already magical. So we're just going to get started pretty quickly. There's not a lot of downtime, so I'm mostly going to let the guys behind me commentate what's happening.
I have no idea what's going on.
All right. Ferret at least knows.
It's been a couple years, but I'll see what I can remember.
I know Dowd's really fast.
Yeah, his blink I think is called something different, like transversal or something. I don't actually remember, but if you just hold it in the air and pause, then it sort of pauses time so you can plan things out, although of course that's slow for the speedrun. And it also has a different animation and sound that generally just feels a bit more responsive than Corvo's blink.
Yeah, you can also like pause in midair and freeze time. It's useful to aim a couple blinks here and there, but I'm not really going to be using it. Also, this is not the right spot. I need to go here.
Nice hard
Nice
fall.
hard fall.
I will.
Nice
Nice
hard fall.
hard fall.
I will say that I have done this a lot less than the main game, so I'm kind of bad at it. But don't worry about it. It's
This is a
fine.
good time to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Right here, I'm going to try to manipulate a guard to cause a cutscene to just not happen. But it happened anyway, because of reasons. Don't worry about it.
And there's a cutscene here where for some reason you're still able to blink and use abilities, so you just blink over to this chair and put him down while that cutscene's playing.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's the only cutscene that's like that. And then here we just nicely ask him some questions. I can't even remember why you're doing this, but don't worry about it. This is the answer. And grab an item that we're going to use in the next mission. And we got all the information, so we can just leave. Now, unfortunately, Billy, the female assassin that came with us, is kind of useless. So, what? How did you not blink up there? We need to save her. All right. She should be saved. Too far away. There we go.
Yeah, throwing that grenade sort of gets the guard near her to ignore her, and then if you walk near her, she'll teleport away and allows you to finish the mission here.
And this is just the only downtime in the DLC runs, or just a little bit of dialogue at the end of each mission.
Yeah, and at the start of each mission, you get the opportunity to buy a bunch of things, so you just buy 10 mana potions pretty much every time, and that allows you to just blink pretty much as often as you want and not have to worry about picking up extra mana potions.
Yeah, we're going to be blinking pretty much the entire time for both of the DLCs, which is pretty nice. There's also little cutscenes, like actual video cutscenes, that you're able to skip. So, in this second mission, there's actually RNG. Just like Boils, there are 3 spots that this target can spawn. There's one that's good, one that's not bad, and one that is absolutely horrible. So we're going to hope for not the horrible one. I'm going to use the mine that I picked up, sleep dart this guy. That's really rude, dude. Come on. Hello? Alright, so we rescued Talia, but we're not actually going to talk to her yet, because we're just going to go ahead and do what she's going to tell us to do later. Sir? So there's Timsh, the guy on the right in the load screen. We need to take care of him. So he can spawn either here, which he did. That is best luck. Awesome. Good work, everybody. And we need to pick up his will, which is right here. And I'm going to pick up an extra... Hello. Could you not? All right, that guard should get a promotion. And...
Nice hard fall.
Thanks, dude.
What is it?
So, we took care of Timsh, we got his will, and we're going to go talk to his niece, Talia, who we've already rescued. Just skip a bunch of prompts. She gives us a bunch of money and stuff.
That's all
And it turns out she actually just completely betrayed him because she's a bad person. But don't worry, everybody is bad. Currently playing a bad guy. Is this right? Oh, I did it. No hard fall.
So much for the good barrister.
And that's the second mission. So there's one more mission.
Men like him can never
Basically, our home base, which was the Flood District in the main game, is under attack. And we need to fight off a whole bunch of overseers. And it's actually really precise. You need to be able to take them out with quick shots and not get overwhelmed by their music or anything like that. So I'm going to buy a whole bunch of sleep darts and then some more potions, which I don't really need all that many of.
Yeah, the music box overseers, which he needs to kill, sort of have armor in their front from their music boxes, so you need to shoot him in the feet with sleep darts to actually take him out.
It didn't blink when I right-clicked. That's interesting. So, oh, okay. We're gonna
Nice hard fall.
We're gonna reload that because I bonked my head. Luckily, there's an autosave like literally. Oh.
Okay.
That's not where I thought the autosave would be. All right. So here's the guy. We're gonna sleep dart that one. We're gonna grenade the leader of it. Sleep dart another one. Pick up a note from the part of his leg that was still left. Sleep dart this one. get not stuck on this.
I'm not even going to mention that one.
That one's actually really hard to do. You're supposed to save your assassins, but you can kind of just poke one, and then you don't have to worry about it. Nope, auto aim, nope, come on. You can do it, auto aim. Alright, we got there.
This map shows
You need to look at the map, and then you need to take care of this guy. And oh no! Okay, it's fine.
Whoa, nice TC, dude.
All strats. Alright, so we've taken out all of them, and now we just need to tell them to capture the remaining ones. If you actually kill the remaining ones, then you have a really long animation that you have to sit through where they all die. But we're basically done. Time is coming up when we actually decide on Billy's fate. It turns out that she actually betrayed us and told the location to the bad people. And then this witch named Delilah reveals herself that she's actually behind it and she's evil and ooh no, so she's going to be the main antagonist for the next DLC. But first, yeah, and the next game apparently, even though things happen, don't worry about it. So we need to kill her, and that's time. It actually doesn't matter which one you pick, because time ends either way, but you might as well just pick the bottom option. So, rip Billy. Although I think she's going to be in the next game, so this is not canon, but eh. And now I need to quit out because it will actually play an unskippable cutscene, which is really long, and we're not going to watch that. And instead, we're going to move on to the other DLC. So, this DLC, we actually can't make a save at the very start. It just won't let us. So we do have to watch like a little 30-second long cutscene. So we actually do start from new game. Time will start when I actually like gain control of my character, which is not far into this.
So for both the runs he did previously, we were playing on easy because you get much more mana regen from potions, which is the main thing that allows you to save time because you get to blink a lot more often. But for the very start of this particular DLC, there's a fight section, and it's beneficial to be on the hardest difficulty for it.
Because it's too easy and we need a challenge.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to fight Corvo, it's like, you need to go all out. You can't mess around with this. It's got to be serious. So time will start in a second.
Here to settle our debt. You understand?
Come on, Dowd. Stop talking. Right now. All right, let's go and... oh, okay. Well, that's way too hard. Never mind. I take it back. I want to be on easy. Well, this is fine, I'm sure. Yeah, so that was just a dream. I got strong arms, dude. Sick. That was just a dream, and it is possible to beat him, but it takes forever. So you can actually just make the difficulty the hardest, and he beats you in one shot, and then you can just switch to easy. So since this was meant to be a... you're supposed to import your save file from the previous DLC into this. I'm just selecting new game, which means it just gives you a whole bunch of things to start with. So a couple of runes, a bunch of random bone charms, most of which are useless, and a whole bunch of money. So all the random bone charms I got are useless, so I'm just going to get Agility 1 and Blink 2. I'm not going to get Agility 2 for this one, because it doesn't actually save that much time, since we spend most of the time blinking. And the extra blink length is pretty useful for a bunch of different strats that we're going to be doing. Hey, Jova. How's it going? So that was the first mission. Very intense. And since this is a Dishonored game, obviously it has to be RNG. So I'm going to start this by just immediately clipping out of bounds. And then this is not solid, obviously. And all the way out here, you actually can't blink because there's Overseer music playing outside. So you just have to like run for this part, and then you can blink again once you're inside. Don't shot me, bro. Alright, so there's 4 places that she can spawn. This is the best of 2. There's another place she can spawn way at the bottom, and then she can also spawn like way off to the right near absolutely nothing, and it's terrible. So we got actually good luck. That was too far. Thank you for the boost. I'm going to heal just in case. So, nice boost. Thanks, dude. So this is Lizzie Stride. She's the leader of the Dead Eels, I think it's called.
Yeah.
You basically need her because you need transportation on her boat.
See that her wounds get attention.
So we break her out of prison, and we're going to put her back in charge of the Dead Eels.
Ready to go. Let's go.
So once again, we're going to buy a bunch of potions. We also need sleep darts and 1 grenade. And this is basically the area between the Dead Eels and the Hatters, are 2 rival gangs. So we're going to, first of all, put Lizzie back in charge of the Dead Eels. There's a guy who led a mutiny against her, so we need to take care of him. Sure. Hello, where'd my blink go? Can I get up here? Hold on. So, come over here. Take this grenade, please. And he's been taken care of. You can actually just pull this thing through the window. So now Lizzie's back in charge, and the Dead Eels are no longer hostile. But the ship is still broken because the Hatters, the rival gang, took a piece of equipment, or they have a piece of equipment that we need to fix the boat. And normally, if you want to get that, you need to like do a whole bunch of things for them, get on their good side. We're just gonna not do that because we can slip clip, and slip clipping is really cool.
Whalebone. Come in, Hatter.
So, I have to make my way over here. I'm just gonna clip through here, go down here, and here's the thing I need. Excellent. Whoop. Come on. Flip out. Where am I?
You're taking a bath, that's where you are.
How did I get over here? Oh.
Oh no.
That's never happened before. Everything was going a little bit too well. We needed some action, I think, honestly. So once again, there we go. We just need to blink out that way, and we can leave.
I didn't even know there was water in this level.
I didn't even know you could fall to your death there.
Yeah, the out-of-bounds areas are not exactly meant to be traveled, so a lot of them just have water in some places and no water in others, and it doesn't really make any sense. So in some out-of-bounds areas, you actually have to like know where those areas are, even though you can't see them, to make sure you don't accidentally fall to your death.
All right, so as soon as we place this thing, we're gonna have a bunch of witches attack. Oh god, where's the other one? All right, we got her. So we sleep dart all 4 of the witches that attack right as they spawn, and we can take the boat to the witches' manor. So once again, potions and sleep darts. We don't actually need any grenades or anything this time. And this level is pretty broken. We're gonna get started by just kind of clipping out of bounds through this rock. And like we said, there's just kind of water in places. Just because if I go too far down, I'll actually fall to my death, like you saw. I mean, didn't see, that didn't happen. Oops. And now we're down in here. Come on. Come on. Unlean, please. This wall is really finicky if you're in the wrong spot.
When you slip clip, if you fail, you get stuck leaning, and he opened his powers menu to fix that glitch.
Yeah, at high FPS, the leaning is really not ideal. So we need this lamp because of plot and lore. Just accept it.
Nice.
Whoop. And we need to go over here because here's a painting. We're gonna shine the lamp on the painting, and then we can go into the painting or the void or something. I don't know. Lore is currently happening. Just let it happen. All the witches are like yelling at me and trying to attack me, but I'm in a cutscene, so I can't be hurt, and it's great. And here's our friend, the Overseer. He has a few things to say, but we don't care. We can just leave.
Outsider.
Did I say insider?
You said overseer.
Overseer. They're all the same. So here we have an epic boss fight. No, it's not over, no. So she's gonna spawn 4 clones. We need to shoot her 4 times. Oh, that one didn't get hit. We're getting awful luck because she just keeps spawning in front and noticing. That's a terrible spawn. Please walk out. All right, there we go. And time's coming up as soon as she spawns for the last time, and that's it. That's time. So that is Dishonored plus the 2 DLC runs and also saving the Empress. And
Emily.
And Emily, apparently. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The witch was trying to like take over Emily's body. It was stuff. Don't worry about it. This is a little bit weird because now it shows Corvo and Dowd at the flooded district. Even though this never happened, like you just kind of clip out of bounds and go past him. This clearly is not canon. So I don't know why it's here. The game is just a little bit confused.
Took her daughter. Something broke inside me. Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing.
Did we even kill anybody in the DLCs? Like, come on. Killed like 1 guy.
Make your choice.
All right, so I'm not gonna let that play because then there's an unskippable cutscene that you have to watch.
I mean, you obviously didn't kill Delilah, so I'm...
I shot her in the face with an arrow. I think she's pretty dumb. Yeah, that's Dishonored. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for your donations.